The women's circuit racing comes back for season 2, and it's race 2 of the opening round of the championship, the Pirelli Dutch Round, and 12 laps ahead of us after yesterday's fantastic race. Let's see what we're going to have today. Let's cross over to TNT Sports and all the action ahead of today's race.
We have some blue, so I'm happy.
Amazing Super race that we have just seen, and Toprak is back for now, or is he? I don't know. If it dries up later, what's going to happen?
And isn't the irony of the whole thing that when we sat there talking about asking, oh, well, who's going to do what? It was like, well, we haven't got a clue. Actually, it was Toprak who come through and won again with no wet practice whatsoever. So an absolutely fantastic performance from him.
Yeah, in he comes. He can't head the championship at the end of the day. As I said at the top of the show earlier on, no matter what happens, Buliga will lead the championship after Assen heading to Cremona in 3 weeks' time. But that's exactly what Toprak needed. And of course, Buliga now is starting on the 4th row of the grid for race 2, which is coming up later on today. It's not the only thing coming up later on today, because the Women's World Championship are set to get back underway very soon indeed as well. Maria Herrera leading the way after that really close finish with Bayer Naylor in yesterday's race. Supersport 300, stand by for the chaos. Then it's the Superbikes, 1 o'clock your time, and World Supersport at 2:15. So, Women's World Championship, Maria Herrera leading the way, but a close race yesterday, as we heard from Maria and the other competitors on Saturday evening.
Maria, pole position and a victory for you in race 1, an amazing start of the season for you.
Sí, in general, a good start, because to finish fair in the fair race is good, but for sure Naila pushed a lot in this race. I have to push harder from the beginning, because I knew if I didn't do a gap, it was a difficult one, because with a big group it's more difficult to finish the race. So I wanted to finish with 2 riders in the group, and yeah, I did it. I did a good pace, because we did a lap time record every time, and yeah, I'm happy to finish first.
Beatrice, what a race and what a last lap, but unfortunately it's P2 in the end for you. Tell us anyway, how was the race for you?
Yeah, the race for me was amazing. Finally, Maria and I did a good job, a good race. So yeah, at the final of the race, I decided to overtake to Maria in the last sector, but I touched the ring in the last corner, and well, I finished in 2nd position. But I'm happy, I'm really happy, because I did a super step this year. So I'm really satisfied, also proud, and let's enjoy tomorrow, because I know that tomorrow we start in 3rd position, no? Because I did the faster lap, so let's enjoy the 1st position tomorrow.
Sarah, 3rd position in the first race of the season. Tell us about it.
Today it was a very difficult race, because the girls are so fast, and I fight with Avalon. I didn't expect, but well, we need to study. We will study this night the race for tomorrow.
Tomorrow maybe we have different weather. Is that okay for you?
I don't know. We will try our best in all the conditions, so we will fight.
Yeah, try our best. 3 very happy competitors here after yesterday's race. And also Chloe Jones going very well as well, right up there in the top 6, Shaky Burn, with Brent Gladwin's JBMotorsports team. And he's a great character coming in from the BSB paddock this year.
Yeah, what a great addition. I didn't see that coming, to be honest. Brent's run a team in BSB for so many years, so much experience, and he came over to Jerez last year with Chloe, didn't he? They done a sort of one-off round, and he decided, you know what, I quite like this, a little bit of sunshine and a lot less stress and whatever else. And yeah, he's come across to the Women's World Championship with Chloe, so we're looking forward to see how they get on.
Maria Herrera then with the championship situation, leading advantage at the moment. We've also got Jamie Hanks-Elliott, who's part of the Hanks sidecar dynasty from Birmingham. She's racing in this class this year as well. Maria Herrera, though, got to be the favourite after testing and what we saw yesterday as well.
Yeah, she couldn't not be, to be fair, but it was a close race. You know, it didn't go all her own way, did it? So looking forward to seeing how today's one goes, and seeing if anyone can take it to her.
Shane, just a really quick word on Anna Carrasco. She's in Supersport now, but it's tricky. Do you think, like James, she should have maybe stayed in the Women's World Championship?
I think that it's important to try and step up and show that you can progress, but yeah, maybe stay where she was.
OK, race 2 coming our way then. The track is just about drying, so Steve English and Liam Hodgins might have an interesting call here up in the commentary box.
run yesterday went the way of Maria Herrera on the number 6 Clint Forward Racing Machine to pick up 25 important points, 7th win in the class. The Spaniard will be looking to make it double in World WCR, but she will come under a lot of pressure from Beatrice Naylor, who will make it very hard for the 7-time race winner and chasing her first victory in the class. But could today be that day? Sarah Sanchez on the outside of the front row, a little subdued back in 3rd yesterday, but expect the 64 to be challenging for another podium here today. However, Ponziani, Lewis and Jones could make life difficult for Sanchez. Ralph, a solid 7th yesterday, will be looking to build up on her good start. With that being said, Liam Hodgins and Steve English take you through the 12-lap World WCR race number 2. So the riders get started for their warm-up lap, and this is a good chance for the riders who've been sitting on the grid for 10 minutes now to just get an eye in on the TT circuit and see where the wet patches might still be. You just see there Chloe Jones peeling into turn number 1 at the head of the pack. She's got the sticker on the front of her bike, so a few riders have got the sticker, but that should come off after a few laps. So if you're joining us for the first time, don't worry, the sticker will not cause any problems for the riders out there. And you can just see as they go through turn 3 and 4, the double right-hander at the start of the lap before coming into turn number 5. It is completely dry out there, and it's quite incredible considering it was only 25 minutes ago to half an hour that the World Superbike Super Pole race ended, and you wouldn't even thought it was raining even less than an hour ago. So it's completely bone dry out there. We're looking at the number 6 championship leader after her victory in race 1 yesterday, Maria Herrera, her 10th podium in the class, her 7th race win. And she's got a big target on her back. However, the 36 that's going from pole position, Beatrice Naylor, and you can just see it's still quite windy out there on the circuit with the camera moving about quite a lot as they peel in towards turn number 9. And there's Beatrice Naylor, that's Sarah Sanchez, I should say, on the blue Yamaha R7. And this is a part of the track where the slipstream could come into effect, especially with the strong wind out there. And if you're punching a hole in the air of the rider in front, that gives the rider behind a good slipstream. You can gain about 4/10 to maybe half a second from turn 11 all the way through to Ramshoek, the left-hander that's at the forefront of our screen now before peeling in to the Gert Timmer chicane at the end of the lap. You can see there the wind is blowing at a very mild 8 miles per hour, and it was didn't quite catch kilometers, but 8 miles per hour for us native English speakers, that is not too bad.
It's pretty good conditions now for all the riders, 17 degrees air temperatures.
Yeah, it's not that bad at all as they line up on the grid then, and we are all set for the start of the race. Fingers crossed that this time it's going to be a decent run and no one's going to have any form of accidents or curtailments. Maria Herrera leads the championship, but it was Naylor who finished the race in first. Ergo, she starts pole position. Sarah Sanchez alongside. Race 2 of the World Women's Circuit Racing is under starters' orders. Lights out now. Good start this time for Maria Herrera. She's gone with as well. Down towards with Naylor. Few jump starts for the bike, maybe they'll have to have a look at that and see if it's going to be a problem as they come into the first corner. Maria Herrera on the inside line. Naylor still holds on outside line, but Maria's come back on the inside. Maria Herrera takes the lead of the race coming to turn 3. Back through on the inside line. Jones having a go. Still can't get that move done on the inside. I can't see where everyone Lewis has gone. She's dropped down into 3rd, 4th position. The timing screens haven't quite updated yet. Back down towards turn 7 at Rushkenhook. Maria Herrera leads already by 0.2 of a second to Beatrix Naylor. Raven Lewis in 3rd position. Sarah Sanchez drops down to 4th position as well. Brilliant. I'm just having a look. Credit where credit's due. Brilliant start for Mallory Dobbs, up from 20th to 16th. She's always been good at the launches. She's up 4 places where she's at. Jessica Howden up as well into 14th position. Ponzioni down up into 17th, passing as well. So now the battle's continuing on. Howden battling, and yep, Dobbs passes Ponziano as well, so moves going off further back. Jamie Hanks Elliott as well coming through. No jump starts. That's good news then from from the stewards. We were wondering if there was at the back because one of the bikes sort of jumped up at the start. I wonder if that was Sonia Lloyd, who's down into 21st position now. The top three still together. That's going to be Maria Herrera, Beatrix Naylor, and even Lewis, actually. So Lewis is coming into the battle. She's going to be one of, well, sort of replacing now that top four Holy Trinity we had last year. Quartet, yeah. Over the line we come. Sarah Sanchez desperate in 4th position to catch up. You can see already how unfair the bikes are in terms of they've tried to bring it down so that every bike weighs the same this year. Last year it was a major thing. There's Mallory Dobbs trying to go up the inside of the 96 as well of Roberta Ponzioni for 15th. Ponzioni's gone around the outside and retaking it. Dobbs looking on the inside. No, Mallory can't make the move. Sorry, Mal. Lucy Mitchell declared fit for this race after her crash yesterday in race 1. She's still in a battle as well. Roberta Ponzioni going through on Mitchell as well, actually. So, yeah, they've made the move. Here's Michael. Sorry. Roberta Ponzioni down to 15th position. Maria Herrera leads by 0.2 of a second as the field now spread out by 14 seconds after just one lap. That's why the Yamaha R7s are not the best motorcycles to be racing with. They're very hard to get the power down mid-corner. It takes a lot to keep them up too. And four-way fight already in the front. Sanchez is coming through. So who was the biggest win? Well, Ponzioni down 10 places. Dobbs up 4. Organo up 2. And then we get Taylor Ralph, who's up 5 places. So also was Natalia Rivia. So it was really going to be Ralph, Rivia and Dobbs who've made the best starts. Well, Mallory was always good at the starts as well. We saw that last year at Donington. Through then, the top 3 again. Maria Herrera holding back. And see Beatrix Naylor having a look at the inside. Evelyn Lewis still there. Sanchez going through on the inside line. Lewis trying to have a look on through. She can't get past. Lucy Busaful passes Taylor as well. Carreno up to 9th. As they now fall back. Lap 3, 10 to go already. Sanchez with a 1:49.204. 0.102 faster than Maria Herrera on that last lap time around. But there's a gaggle of bikes together in the mid-pack over the last points paying position. It's quite interesting, actually, how it's happening. They're all running together. Back on the inside, Ruz passes Mandugal for 11th and 12th positions as the circuit continues to fall in. And, yep, there's the 96 trying to go right round the outside. So that's Ponzioni with Howden on the inside line having a look down into Rushkenhook. Sarah Sanchez on the inside line makes the move. And Beatrix Naylor still can't get in. Lewis back up into 3rd position. Sanchez down into 4th again. It's just constantly changing. Jamie Hanks-Elliott passes Mel Chun Ling as well, coming through. So Liu goes down into 20th position on the monitors. And now the top 4, just like it was last year. 4 riders at the front of the field, getting away from everybody else. It's going to be that type of race, but it's close racing.
To move with me at this right-hander coming up as Naylor looks over her shoulder there to see how big the group actually is.
Yeah, no need to attack now at this stage. If you get to make a move with the slipstream like Avalon Lewis is trying to do, by all means do that. But don't try and force an issue, because all that can happen is if you force an issue is you might lose a few bike lengths to Maria Herrera, and then it's quite difficult to get that back. For Sarah Sanchez, you can see the attack into the chicane. That's fine, because it doesn't really cost anyone time. It's making overtaken moves at the likes of turn 5 that really do cost you momentum, and you don't want to do that in this class.
Well, here comes Naylor. She's making a move on Herrera. Latest of the late breakers, Naylor has been able to take the lead with 9 laps to go into turn number 1. So Herrera, for the first time in this race, has been shuffled back down to 2nd. But will she strike back once again? No, maybe Herrera is just quite happy to sit there for the time being. Sarah Sanchez on the back of her better rival from last year, with Herrera just in front as we're looking at the crew from Maria Herrera's side of the garage. And it's good to see Avalon Lewis 4th place yesterday. Even though she was bundled back down to 4th, she's still with this group. So we make our way down the back straight towards turn 6. The fast right-hander then will switch to the fast left-hander, where we did see Lewis and Naila have a bit of a warring match last lap, but it looks like Naila is still leading the way from Maria Herrera. Great stuff here from Beatriz Naila. She is well and truly commanding this race for the time being. A little bit further back, 8.5 seconds behind this leading group of 4. Losing about 2 seconds per lap to this leading group. It is Bodicel. Ralph has just moved up inside the top 5. Here we are, the second group of Bodicel, Jones and Ralph. Ralph has made her way back to the front of that group on the number 8 in front of the 17.
Yeah, Ralph's a good solid rider in this class. We saw it last year. She was able to develop and make her progress from that second group to get to the front of the second group, get a podium at Cremona. She's been able to put herself in a position in this race to come away with a top 5 finish. That's what she has to do to be able to build on last season, show what she can do. Speaking to some of the other riders in the class, some of the fast riders, it's been pretty clear that they understand that there are some other riders that are coming from that second group, and it looks like she could be one of them. Bodicel's really impressed so far this weekend. Chloe Jones is definitely a rider that we're going to have to keep an eye on all the way through the season. And this is one of those things for the WCR class where we've got the leading group of 4 riders right now. The next group probably have the potential to be with them, just on the back of that group, and as the season develops, as it evolves, you want them to have the pace to be able to go with them and stay with them and give themselves the chance to be able to fight with them. But Ralph, Jones and Bodicel so far this weekend have been impressive. Ponziani's managed to find her way to the front of that third group, and last time around she was a 50.3, which is pretty much the only rider able to match the pace at the front of the field.
Oh, battle's going on. Sanchez up to third.
49s for the leaders. That is 1.3 seconds off what Naila managed to do yesterday in race 1. However, today it's a little bit colder out there. There's still some damp patches, so you expect the lap times to increase or decrease as the race goes on. As Maria Herrera making a move on Naila for the lead.
Just with Ponziani as well, she's been able to catch on to the back of that Bodicel, Jones and Ralph group as well. So she's got herself into that second group. She's done well to be able to clear that traffic as quickly as she did.
Yeah, good stuff there from the Italian Ponziani. It's a shame that she had such a disastrous start. It'd be good to see if we could see what happened to her, but I'm sure if we don't, we'll be able to catch up with her at some point to find out what happened exactly off the start. And she's just moved up to 7th in front of Jones, so Jones has been shuffled back down to 8th, but that's a group of 4 now for 5th position. But back in the front, and we will look at that as Ponziani makes a move on Bodicel and Jones follows her through. So that group behind have now they've used Ponziani as a marker, and they're starting to pull themselves back towards this battle for 5th position. Taylor Ralph is up the road ever so slightly, just a half a second from Ponziani, but there's the 83. That's Madrigal. She's just outside the top 10, the Mexican rider on the 83s. We might have a move for the lead. Not quite. Sarah Sanchez had a look up the inside of Naila, just showing her front wheel, but it is as you were. Herrera leading away from Naila, Sanchez and Avalon Lewis doing such a fantastic job. 0.7 of a second off Herrera, but she's in that leading group.
Yeah, new fastest lap last time around for Maria Herrera at the front of the field, around about a 1/4 second faster than the other riders in the group, but part of that is making that progress for her as well. But for all 4 of these riders, they know that there's a podium at stake as we move towards the second half of this one.
It's a great shame from Ponziani. She's the only other rider in the 49s. I did say that, but then I should look at Paquita Ruiz in 9th, another 49.9, a second off what Maria Herrera can do, but showing great pace down at the bottom reaches of the top 10.
That's quite interesting actually to see the difference from last year. All that we're ever looking for in this class is to see how it's evolving, how it's changing, how people are developing. That second group has gotten bigger. We spoke about it over the course of the weekend already. The leading group is probably 4 or 5 riders, maybe 6 riders, and then the next group last year was again 4 or 5 riders. Suddenly this year it looks like it's probably 10 or 11 riders. So we've got that second group now getting deeper and deeper, and that's what we need to see in the class.
Yeah, speaking to Jamie Hanks Elliott on the number 76 bike at the beginning of this weekend, she was saying in testing the pace has increased by about 2 seconds per lap, and really are seeing that. The levels increased in World WCR, and it's great to see because once you get that initial season out of the way, you learn a bit more of the craft and you learn how to speed, and now we're seeing a lot of these riders battling some of the fast riders from last year.
Yeah, Ponziani's managed to move herself up into 5th place there ahead of Ralph. Now is the moment for the likes of Ralph there on the number 8 machine to be able to go with Ponziani. And the same can be said for Chloe Jones, because you don't want to leave yourself in a position where the likes of Bodicel there, you can see how that slide as she gets out of the right-hander, that you don't want to be in a position to be with that group, because Bodicel, Ruiz, Coreno and Madrigal, you want to be able to stay in front of that, because otherwise your chance of a top 7 finish can just as easily be 11th.
Yeah, it could be indeed. We'll keep an eye on that battle for 5th, but we're back at the front again where the business points of the field is, and it's still Herrera leading the way. So it looks like Naila, Sanchez and Avalon Lewis were just quite happy to keep their powder dry, boxing clever at the time being, and we just saw the fastest lap of the race coming through from Sarah Sanchez. That was a second off the pace from yesterday, as Herrera's ran wide at turn 3. She's gone from first down to fourth, so not sure what's happened there to Herrera. Did she just make a mistake, or did Nayla push her out wide? We will probably get a replay of that one. It'll be good to see what happened to Maria Herrera, or is she just happy to just sit at the back of this group, gather her thoughts, see where the other riders are quicker than her, and then she'll pounce with about 2/3 race distance.
One thing we know about Maria is she wants to lead from the front, and for her, she's down in fourth spot. It's not going to be something that's going to worry her too much at this stage, but we're coming up towards that 2/3 race distance, and that's where for the riders it becomes really important to give yourself the chance to be at the front. Maria's just in a bit too hot, she's a bit wide, and she's just going to leave it where she leaves that door open, and then she tucks back into the back of that group. But she is a rider that likes to lead from the front usually. Yeah, no stress there from Maria Herrera, but more stress down in the pit boxes for the teams. But she's sitting happily at the back of the pack for the time being. But expect Maria to carve her way through the front 3 riders if she still has the pace, if she has the time. But we believe that Maria Herrera does, considering what we've seen all weekend. She was the rider to beat. She was the rider setting the pace, but slowly the other 3 were able to just chip away at her, starting off with Nayla yesterday. Second on the grid, second in the race, Sarah Sanchez, and now Lewis, who's learning a lot from these 3 riders. Only in her 4th race, this is gold dust to Avalon Lewis. Yeah, it really is, and Avalon on that 21 machine, very impressive, running up there inside the podium spots, and we were going to see that all year from her. She's going to be fast, she's going to be competitive, and she's going to give herself the chance to win some races this year. She's a rider that came through the World SBK paddock in the European Junior Cup days with that championship. We had a lot of riders were able to make their start there. The likes of Augusto Fernandez racing in MotoGP this weekend. He came through that, and so did plenty of other riders. Yeah, plenty of great talent all the way through the field. Bodicel, she's getting shuffled back ever so slightly on the blue at number 17. She just behind Paquita Ruiz on the 46. A very famous number in the motorcycle racing world, but Paquita Ruiz doing a very good job inside the top 10 and still setting 1 minute, now low 1 minute 50s, but now she's to the front of that group. She might get herself back into the 49s, but good scrap going on for the fringes of the top 10 and just outside. And back with the front, it is as you were. Nayla still leading the way from Sanchez, Lewis and Herrera on the back of this pack with 4.5 laps to go. This is about the time where we might see riders now starting to push forward. If they've been keeping their powder dry, if they've got the pace, they might start pushing forward. Yeah, and around about 5 corners time, because that's yeah, whenever we hit 2/3 race distance, and that's whenever you need to make sure that you're in a position to be able to be at the front of this group. And for the likes of Beatrice Nayla, we saw yesterday how strong she was, and again we saw that at the end of last season. She made a big step forward in the second half of last year, much more competitive in terms of how close she was to Herrera and Carrasco. She started the season really well. She knows that she's a title contender this year, and she wants to make sure she's able to get the job done. Yeah, if she wants to be a title contender, victory here today will get her account well and truly underway, especially if Herrera finishes down in 4th place, but we don't expect her to stay there for very long. But that being said, about 2/3 race distance, is it just me? It looks like it's getting a little bit darker out there, especially outside our commentary box window as well. Maybe the wind hasn't picked up too much, but it's definitely getting darker out there, so this could be a time. Calm down. We've got 7 minutes left in this race, and for these riders, that's what they're focused on. And the conditions, the forecast for today is a little bit changeable in the afternoon, but with 7 minutes left in this one, time for 4 laps, that's where it's going to be all about being able to put yourself in the front of this group. We're past that 2/3 race distance now, so for Beatrice Nayla, this is where she attacked yesterday. This is where she showed her little bit of racecraft, the mental capacity that you need to know where you are. Big look over her shoulder there out in front of number 36, and Beatrice just wants to check to see who's in the group, where they are, and what she has to do. That's going to be interesting for Maria Herrera to have seen, because Herrera will look at it and say, right, I've got to pick off Lewis, I've got to get myself off Sanchez, and then try and see if I'm able to go with Beatrice as well. And she's already carved her way through into 2nd place, that's Maria Herrera, so no issues there for the number 6 championship leader, but she's got Nayla just in front of her, who finished 2nd, or across the line in 1st place, but was docked 1 position for running off at the chicane yesterday. And just keep an eye on Maria Herrera's back. I thought at one point it looked like the fairing might be a little bit loose going down the back straight, but everything seems okay, so that's good to see that we have all 4 of these riders and their bikes in one piece. And with 3 and a bit laps remaining, it's a calm before the storm, and it might be a storm brewing up over ahead of us, hopefully not, but on the track
There definitely is. And Maria Herrera looking eager to get back to the front of this. But Naila is doing such a good job, especially through the ram choke towards the end of lap, just to open up that gap ever so slightly over Maria. And that's what we saw yesterday, where she was able to lunge on Maria into the final corner.
Yeah, the ram choke is turn 15, the long left-hander, the fast left-hander at the end of the lap. And speaking to a few of the riders earlier on in the weekend, I was asking them how they approach it on the R7 here for the WCR. And a lot of them have a lift, and then they go into it. So they roll the throttle ever so slightly, just as a little bit of a confidence boost. And then as they're getting into the corner, they really load it up again then with the gas. But as the weekend's gone on, riders have gotten faster and faster through there. And the faster that you go through there, the more difficult it is for then the rider to attack you, because you've got your break point into the chicane, and the chicane's all about having that high ground. We've seen it time and again in every class of racing here, whether you're looking at the Grand Prix classes, 300, Super Sport, Superbike. It's all about being able to have that high ground, force the other rider to have to go in deep and go onto the green paint.
Yeah, and that's what Maria would like to do, but she's back at the front now, and will Naila strike back immediately? No, she won't. With 2.5 laps remaining, it is as what you were yesterday, with Herrera leading the way from Naila Sanchez. But Lewis, she's striking on Sanchez. She wants her first podium in World WCR. It's her rookie weekend, or her rookie season, but her second weekend in the class. As we're looking at the team, and Lewis has made her way through on the 21. She might just see that Herrera is now pushing towards the front. She might feel she's got the pace to go with the top two.
And for Avalon Lewis on the 21, she is an impressive rider. She's jumped in here for a full season with Cox Motorsport, and really good to be able to see for that team that they're able to immediately have the chance of fighting for podiums.
A very impressive team is the Cox team, and it's good to see that the iconic DJ is putting some money into World WCR. Sarah Sanchez isn't off the back of this. She's managed to gain back some ground that she lost. Will she make a move on Lewis at the latest of the late breakage? Just saw a double tap of the front brake, and she's managed to bundle out Lewis into fourth. So Sarah Sanchez, she's back into the podium position with 2 laps to go. It's Herrera leading the way. A new fastest lap of the race, a 48.2 from your race leader, Herrera. But Naila is able to go with her. She was half a second slower in that lap, but that lap did include an overtake from Herrera, so don't think too much into the lap times.
No, that's certainly one thing to keep across on as well, but quick through the field as well. It's been an interestingly slow race. Everyone is split up massively, as you can see on the rider tracker. Maria Herrera, though, 1:48.205, as they say, don't count much into that. She's leading this race. Beatrix Naylor in second. Sarah Sanchez is in third position as things currently stand. Now, for Sarah Sanchez as well, looking down, she's had 2 victories and 10 podiums so far. Can't she get anything else today? But she's right on the back now. Beatrix Naylor in there as well, after not winning, well, winning on the road yesterday, but not winning overall. That went back to Maria Herrera, who took her 7th win in the championship. As Sanchez and Lewis doing battle. Lewis sends it up the inside. Sanchez was ready for it, though, goes defensive. Maria Herrera is the fastest on that in that pack, though, and then actually Beatrix is the slowest, 0.7 compared to 0.2 for Herrera, 0.3 for Sanchez, 0.5 for Avion Lewis as well. So they're all closing back in together as the battle ensues in a strange weekend here. It will be 1 lap to go. Are we going to see a 8th win and a double up for Maria Herrera? As now Lewis side by side with Sanchez coming into the last corner. Sanchez has the inside line. She's going on Beatrix Naylor on the inside line. Late on the brakes, can't get through. Naylor almost taking her down, actually. Over the last lap then, this is it. Battle between the top 4 that's been brewing. You had to save your tyres, even though it's only a 12-lap race. This is the last lap. And what are we going to have in terms of battles? Just keeping an eye on what's going on 11 to 12. Mallory Dobbs up to 13th, so our friend of the channel, personal friend as well, up into 13th place. Well done, Mal. Jamie Hanks-Elliott, well, 19th place in only, well, their first full season in World WCR. Of course, she filled in last year for Lizzie Whitmore, who was injured. Lizzie, of course, on the member of the commentary team. And this is Jamie's, I think, 3rd full weekend of the championship, 4th maybe. Amazing call up. Battle going on still at the front. At Ruskin Hook, Sanchez takes 2nd. Beatrix Naylor throws it up the inside line. Now it's going for the lead on Maria Herrera. Herrera just stops it. Naylor can't get back through. Spanish 1-2-3 at the moment with Sarah Sanchez again in 3rd. Adrian Lewis just holding back the New Zealander. See if that's going to be a Auckland, New Zealand. Last sector coming up, and then the run to the line. You're wondering where they are on the driver tracker. I can't even tell where they are either. They're running too close together. They're into the final sector, which means they're coming up to the line now. I spot them over the line. Who's going to take victory? Herrera's got it, but coming out of nowhere, here comes Sarah Sanchez, and Beatrix Naylor around the outside. Takes the lead from Maria Herrera. This time doesn't touch the green. It was a first win yesterday on the road. It got taken away, but this time it's going to count. Beatrix Naylor wins. For Maria Herrera in second, Sarah Sanchez in third, and Adrian Lewis has crashed in the last corner. And that's going to put everybody up a position. Over the line, it's going to be Ponzioni fourth, across it as well. And Adrian Lewis, the New Zealander, down at the last corner. She's okay, which is good news. That's promoted everybody up a position, and it's put Natalia Rivia into the points-paying position. Now, what happened to Lewis on the last corner? It turns to the dropped the front on entry. It's not her fault. The bikes are too hard on entry to pick up. Podium confirmed. Beatrix Naylor wins her first official race after 5 previous podiums. Jamie Hanks-Elliott has been promoted up into 18th place as well. That one wasn't her fault. It's a strange situation of a circuit, this one. And that's disappointing for her with a great race.
Distraught, however, she can take solace in what was such a strong weekend. However, we've got a brand new race winner in World WCR, Beatrice Naylor, on the number 36 Crescent Yamaha R7, is now a race winner. And unlike yesterday, today there was absolutely no doubt that she was a race winner.
Yeah, exactly. And for Beatrice, such a big moment for her to be able to take that race victory as well. It's in a straight-up fight up against Maria Herrera, and she's able to come out on top. And we obviously saw last year from Beatrice just what she could do as well, because she came into this season, she had 4 podiums, but her first win in the class. And it's important to do it here because it gives you that opportunity to know throughout the course of the season, I'm going to be competitive all the way through.
Yeah, it will indeed, and that means going into Cremona in just a few weeks' time. Herrera and Naylor lead the way on 45 points, and Sarah Sanchez, she'll be 18 points further back with her double third place finish, which means that now we've got 2 different race winners in the class. It only means that one time in the past, that was the inaugural weekend in Misano last year, that we've had a double race winner. Sarah Sanchez on screen, she'll be a lot more happy with her third place today, considering that she was with the top 2. She finished 9 seconds off the leaders yesterday, so we can see Beatrice Naylor. You can see how much that victory means to her. So close last year, 4 podiums last season. She's taken 2 already today, and she will be there all season. One of the rider with probably the biggest smile in the World WCR paddock, and she's one of the most exuberant riders as well. So she, even though she's usually always celebrating, even a second or third, you know this is going to be one heck of a celebration when she pulls into Park Fermi in just a couple of moments' time. So she comes through the red carpet and punches the air in jubilation, and some of the fans will be getting some high fives along the way. Maria Herrera, she seems quite happy with that in the background. Couldn't do much about Naylor in towards the final chicane, but 20 valuable points for the rider that finished second last year. And it's a great moment when a rider finally wins a race after trying so hard and coming so close yesterday. This is where the victory might just taste a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, I think for sure for Beatrice, that's a massive moment, a massive milestone for her, and one of those situations where she's been able to prove it that it's not just today, it's about what we've been able to see all weekend. Massive slap in the back there for Maria Herrera. And when we saw yesterday their battle, we saw how much it meant for both riders, and they want to be challenged. And nice to see Anna Carrasco down there as well. And Anna's got a super sport race this afternoon, but last year's world champion in the WCR, and she's down there to congratulate Beatrice.
Yes, I think she was heading over to... Well, I thought she was heading over to congratulate Maria as well, her championship chief championship rival last year, but it was good to see there's a good camaraderie in the Parc Fermé down there.
Don't think she'd be in a hurry to go over to see Maria,
No,
but
I don't think so.
for Anna, it's good to be able to see she's down there and still taking her interest in the championship. Nela, Herrera and Sanchez are podium finishers.
Yeah, look at the gap between third and fourth. 19.7 seconds between the top three and Roberta Ponziani. But there was a fourth rider in there, Lewis, as well. She just went down at the final chicane, just trail breaking it in a little bit too much, tucked the front, but thankfully she was able to walk away. The only retirement from that race was Lewis. And of course, further back, we had a couple of riders that could have been lapped, but thankfully they were far enough ahead that the leaders didn't come up to them.
Yeah, just out of reach there in that final lap. And Avalon Lewis, unfortunately, out of reach there is in the closing stages as well. But Av's had a really good weekend. First season as a full-time rider in the WCR. She came in as a wild card last year at Cremona, and she's acquitted herself so well over the course of this weekend. I'm excited to see how she does for the rest of the season.
Yeah, learning a new track. The TT Circuit Assen isn't an easy track to learn, and she's managed to do it incredibly well. But we see the championship standings, Nela leading the way for the first time in her career from Herrera, both equal on points, both taking a victory in a second place. Sarah Sanchez, double third place, and that's the reason why my maths were never very good at school. I'd said it was 18 points she was down. It's actually 13 points she's down from the championship lead. So the top three, the three highest riders from last year coming into this year, they're the top three in the championship this year. And the level has just got even higher, and you expect those three plus Lewis, a few others, Roberta Ponziani, potentially Jones, Relf, Paquita Ruth, who've got a top 5 finish here today. They could be coming into the battle as well. However, Sarah Sanchez, double podium, double third place. She's down in Parc Fermé with Alvaro.
Sarah, third position, your second podium of the weekend. How was race 2 for you?
Today, the start was very crazy because of wet or not wet, but finally I finished closer to the girls, so I'm happy to be on the podium and see you in Cremona.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Rider of very few words, however, you can see that it does mean a lot to her to get that third place, but if anything, she's happier to just be closer to Herrera and Naylor, finishing almost 10 seconds down on them in race number 1. She didn't have the pace to go with them throughout most of the weekend, so this will give her lots of confidence going into Cremona at the beginning of May. But the rider she just finished behind, chief bitter rival from last year, Sanchez and Herrera. Herrera did hold on to finish second, although Sarah Sanchez did have a bit of a look up the inside into the final chicane. No matter what, some good points for Herrera. Big smiling face. Finished first yesterday, second here today. She's speaking to Alvaro.
Maria, not the result you wanted today, but a solid weekend with a win and a second position. How do you evaluate it?
The result I could, because I think the pace that I put, it was a little bit slow than yesterday because the wind is so horrible. But the problem for me was the brake. In the middle of the race, I didn't have brakes, so I think, well, I'm in the 4th position. I see the girls that, in the track and some point of the overtake. Yeah, I did it, and I'm happy with the result for sure because I couldn't do more.
Stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she tried everything she could, did Maria, and just unfortunately missed out on victory here today. But good start to the season for Herrera. 45 points on the board with victory yesterday and a second place here today. And even though she did lead in towards the final sector, Sarah Beatrice Naylor was able to just time it to perfection, get into the draft, and then as she went into towards Ramshoek, the fast left-hander towards the end of the lap, made that move stick, and then managed to go defensive and towards the final chicane before crossing the line to record her first win in World WCR to get her 2025 championship account into a perfect start. And we'll see this move coming up very shortly indeed. She just managed to get the run through, moving mirror, the fast turn number 12 down towards the Ramshoek, managed to chop the front off Herrera and was able to just have a couple of bike lengths. As you see Avalon Lewis crashing out at the back end. For Beatrice Naylor, you can expect that'll be the first of many here in World WCR, and she's waiting to speak to Alvaro. A big cheer from the crowd that are sitting down in Parc Fermé. She's making her way over to Alvaro, and you can see what her first victory in World WCR means to Beatrice Naylor.
Beatriz Naylor, you are a World WCR race winner. How do you feel?
Wow.
That sounds super well. Yeah, my first victory here. I'm really, really happy because I worked too much this winter and arrived the victory, so I'm super proud of myself. And well, this weekend in general was well, but today super well. So I'm super happy. Thank you to everyone. Y bueno, ahora en español, os quiero familia y a todo el mundo que me apoyáis, que siempre se estáis dando el máximo y he hecho una carrera a nivel Dios. ¡Os quiero!
Enjoy it. Congratulations.
Anytime there's a happier winner out there, you can see what it means to Beatrice Naylor. And yeah, maximum attack, and she was extremely happy with that one. And it was a shame for her to lose out on victory yesterday, but she came through the chicane, just touched the green in the middle. As we just see Lewis go down on the back of the screen. But this time there was no contention for whether that victory was in doubt. As she punches there in delight, and it was Dutch delight here for Beatrice Naylor. First win in World WCR, and then she's got her first victory off her back. It will definitely free her up a little bit, and you can imagine that will open the floodgates for many, many more.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where Naylor's obviously shown at the end of last season what she can do in the class, and now she's been able to build on that. And like she said, over the winter I've worked too hard not to win a race, and it's been interesting to go down into the WCR village to be able to see how everyone's changed their approach for this year. Last year a lot of the riders didn't know what to expect. This year they've all trained a lot harder, they're ready for it, and they've all made big changes to how they want to prepare for the season. Last year everything comes about very quickly because the season was very condensed. We started in a little bit later in the year, and all of the races seemed to come one after the other. This year we've been able to have good time since the Jerez round to be able to build your preparation and know what to expect.
Yeah, we expect a great season of World WCR action with the top three on the podium, your big three in the class. Sarah Sanchez, third place here today, and of course yesterday, Maria Herrera, race one victor, second place in race number 2. She goes to the podium. But here's the big one. First time winner in World WCR, Beatrice Naylor, and to the cheer of the fans. A very popular personality indeed.
What's good to see as well is the input that we're seeing from some of the other teams in the paddock as well. For the third place finisher, Sarah Sanchez, she's supported by the GRT Yamaha team, Superbike team, and then you've also got for second place finisher, you've got the Clint Forward Racing team for Maria Herrera, and then on the top step of the podium, Crescent Racing supporting Beatrice Naylor as well. So it shows the input from a lot of other teams and entities and big names within the paddock and what they want to be able to do for this class.
Yeah, great foundation for this championship, and good to have so many great teams a part of it as well. Maria Herrera picks up her second place trophy. Sarah Sanchez before her third place. However, it's the big one. It's the first place trophy for the first time in World WCR. The FIM Women Commission Director handing over the trophy to Beatrice Naylor for the first, but you suspect not the final time in World WCR.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please, your respect for the national anthem of the winning rider, the national anthem of Spain.
The Spanish national anthem rains out for the first time in honour of Beatrice Naylor. She's placed a podium Prosecco, soaking everybody here at the TT circuit and I think they've been soaked more than the rain this morning from the bottles of Prosecco from the top three as they just cheers each other. And you can imagine for the Crescent Yamaha team and Naylor, the party will already be starting long into the evening. They might just have to push back the flight back home to maybe Monday morning because you can imagine they will be wanting to celebrate all the way into tomorrow. Maybe a couple of hangovers they'll want to dissipate before they get on the flight. As the top three will pose for the photos for the final time this weekend in race number 2. Naylor taking the victory here today from Herrera. These two share the championship lead on 45 points with Sarah Sanchez in third, and of course they will be back in action just a few weeks' time at Cremona.
Well, thanks for your company. We'll be back there as well in Cremona for all the action for the Italian round of the championship. Everyone, we'll see you later for race 2 in a few hours' time. Bye-bye.